The RTA sequence stands for Red Tower Arena and was a central and pivotal sequence to the movie. We are introduced to, I argue, one of the main characters, which is the Red Monster. He has two phases. He is a small, funny, cute, even cuddly creature. And during the course of this fight in the Red Tower Arena, he gets hit and turns into this big hulking creature. And I think it was a very interesting, kind of contained set. It was a beautiful set they built on the stages, and we extended this pyramid up. I think I want to say 13 more levels or 12 more levels. And compared to the big scale of the movie, which is very epic, it was nice having a confined environment where really our character animators were able to really fill out this creature, make this fight sequence both really intense in its fighting performance, but also really show our chops at Tau Films in making good character animation. This creature has Ziva dynamics, so you see all the muscles bulging and the integration, painting out the stunt double, integrating our monster in it was very well done. So I think it's really fun. That reminds us back to things like Mad Max and the Thunderdome or other great movies where you had, a climactic fight sequences between your main hero and the main antagonist. I like that it was really a martial arts sequence, even though it had monsters in it. We had these fire pots or fire braziers lining the arena. Some of them were practical, some were actually added in post by us, which of course then have to cast shadows and interactive light on the characters while they're moving around. So we definitely had to take this into consideration when we were lighting and compositing these elements. That it's dimmer by itself is really not a problem because you can hide things in the dark, so to speak. On the other hand, when you push in further, you definitely have to make sure that the performance of your main character reads. So compared to what's in the practical doubles that we removed, we probably had our monster slightly brighter to be better readable. But other than that, that was not an issue. We had a lot of debate of how elastic his skin is supposed to be. When he is big, he is this big hulking creature and you want to see muscle movement. On the other hand, he's still supposed to be, a monster. And cartoony is one thing the client didn't want to go for, but you still have to deal with, similar to the Hulk, a green or red blob on screen that has to be read as realistic. And the other thing that was pretty funny to me, at least, was that in part of the fight, the red monster is lying on its back and spinning with his feet to flip Boya around. That always looked very difficult to do because it kind of broke where realism and martial arts meet. And I think that part of the sequence was especially difficult to nail down because it's a bit of an unnatural pose, having him on the back, just spinning his enemy around. The thing about YYS was that it was a pretty big undertaking, as Tau was responsible for a majority of the CG assets. We have never done a show where we had that many total CG assets and characters we had to build. But it was very rewarding to build, warriors, fairies, monsters, background creatures, a gigantic hand that looked a little bit like the Addams Family. Tau really outdid itself in this regard to really lead the development of all these major assets, even if the final shots were ultimately handled by some other vendors. Cut.